Hello people, welcome back to our channel. And as always, my name is Nate. Look around you. Your phone, your coffee mug, even you are made of the tiniest building blocks in the universe. Yes, atoms. They're everywhere and make everything. So let's uncover what atoms really are and see how they power life, objects, and the cosmos itself. Ready? Let's dive in. So everyone has heard about atoms, but how many of us really consciously think about it to realize that what we are made of? So, as we know, atoms are the tiny powerhouses that make up everything. Matter in its most basic form. Now, imagine a dense core of protons and neutrons at the center with electrons zooming around in a cloud around it, like a cosmic dance. Now, I can go different ways with this, but we know the atom's so small. But let's say if you would scale the atom up to about 4 inches, and you have the electrons going around it, which do not touch them, it just circles around it. So if you would scale it up to about 4 inches, how far away do you think the electrons would be in a distance? I'll answer for you real quick. Say about up to 4 miles away. That's how far the distance in the relation from the electrons to the protons and neutrons. Each element, we have elements, hydrogen, carbon, gold, has its own signature, a different number of protons that give it unique powers. But atoms, they don't just sit there. They bond, they break, rearrange into molecules, building DNA, muscles, skyscrapers, and stars. They're in the food we eat, the air that we breathe, and the galaxies far, far away. Now, we were talking about the size of an atom and the relation if you would scale it up to about 4 inches. Now let's go a little bit deeper. So, in the subatomic area inside every atom, that's crazy. As I said, electrons, they don't just sit still. They leap between energy levels here and there, emitting or absorbing light. That's how stars shine. And I did mention in my last video, as far as we are also stardust. And that's not only how stars shine, that's how plants turn sunlight into food. Now, we've heard this craziness from people like Mr. Billy Gates. He was talking about, or him or a few other people out there were talking about, I don't know if they were serious about it, I think they were, about dimming the sun. Too much sunlight coming to the earth. And a lot of other things of which we need, which is essential for us, for our bodies and the plants on our planet. So as I was saying, in our plants, deep in the nucleus, even smaller particles, quarks they're called, and gluons, held together by some of the strongest forces in the universe. I mean, think about that. Now, I wasn't so crazy about science either when growing up. I think they do that on purpose so that you're not really interested about yourself. But back to what I was saying, atoms, they vibrate, they bond and split apart constantly. In our bodies, trillions of them are reshuffling every second. And you know why? To keep us alive. But how often do we take notice to say, well, I hope my atoms are vibrating and shuffling and splitting apart so that I can stay alive? There is a source, though. I've mentioned it so many times. The power source. To make sure everything is running smoothly. Sometimes we have our, hiccups. It happens, or major sicknesses or whatever. Now, in the heart of stars, atoms also collide with such force they fuse, creating new elements. With these elements, as I told you, we are partly stardust. So what happens? These elements, They're like the iron in your blood and the calcium in your bones. Atoms are the invisible energies of life. Carbon and oxygen atoms form the sugars that energizes your cells. Before moving on, I want to mention some wellness for our wellness and health conscious people who like to take care of their bodies, their cells. We have as I've had for a while, a product by the name of LifeWave. The LifeWave comes in the form of patches. Naturally, it's non-invasive. It works with light therapy. It is through acupressure. I don't have it on right now because I just took mine off this morning. I use them for energy if I've had injuries and pains, and it relieves pain. It's funny how this works. Light therapy. You can get more information about LifeWave patches, description below. Just go to the link. Moving on. We all know we have a DNA. DNA, wow. I mean, scientists are still trying to figure it out. The code, as they would say. What creates our DNA, other than the creator, of course, but what elements? Have you ever thought about that? I'll tell you, nitrogen and phosphorus, okay? And that's what creates your DNA. The unique code that makes you, you. Now you can go so many directions from here, but I just want to go a little bit off and then come back. Basically, when you talk about DNA and coding, and if you go into the subatomic world of particles and waves, you'll come to what the real scientists call string theory, M theory. And in that, we're talking about information. So our body is just information. All objects in the universe is just one big code of information. So, okay, I'm gonna back up because that's another subject for another time. It's crazy. So anyway, every breath we breathe fills our lungs with oxygen atoms that bond to the blood. And this fuels our every move. But atoms doesn't stop at biology. Out in the universe, they are shaping stars, spinning galaxies, and creating chemistry that led to life on Earth. Galaxies. Think about that for a moment. How many there are that exist in our universe. So you see, it's all connected. Atoms are the common thread from the deepest cell to the furthest star. Atoms aren't just stuff, they're stories. Stories of creation, connection, and the cosmic ballet that we're all a part of. So, the next time you sip your coffee or tea or look up at the stars, remember, you're not just in the universe, you are the universe, made of the same atoms that lit the first stars. If that blew your mind, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, and share the magic of science with someone important. The universe is waiting. Let's explore it together, and I'll see you on the next Wise and Rich Strategies clip. Take care, and thank you.